Hello everybody, I'm Scott, and for the next few minutes I'm going to go over a few different areas of the app with you. It's my goal to help provide you with all the tools and knowledge you need in order to get the most out of our system and your tax dollars. Now by the end of this video, you'll be able to enter and classify your expenses as well as attaching your receipts, view and classify your banking, add multiple vehicles and businesses, and then finally, understand how to log in and out of your app. This last one is always a good idea to make sure that all your data is current. Now, with all that, let's go ahead and get started. Entering expenses is extremely quick and easy. First of all, you have two options to enter an expense. The easiest way is to tap on the Add Expense button on the home page of the app, just like you see here. You can also go into the expense category at the bottom of the app. Tap here, and you'll see all of your saved expenses. And just tap on the little arrow, the little plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, and it brings up the Add Expense form. The same form pops up whichever option you choose. Now all you have to do is fill in all the requested information and then tap on Save. It's really that easy. Let me just take you through an example. First of all, you need to choose the category. So in this case, let's just say it's about holiday times right now as I'm taping this, so I am buying some business gifts. And I'll say presents. We'll make this easy. Gifts for clients. And you just enter in the total amount of the transaction. You can choose whatever date you need. You put where the purchase was made. And then you can choose which business you want to use. Or you can choose if it's a personal expense. What flagging an item as a personal expense does is it saves it to Taxbot, but it does not add it to your deduction totals. Then once you get this information in, you can attach your receipt by simply tapping on the button, Attach Receipt. And you'll come up with a few different options. Now, the language on an Android app, this is my iPhone, but for an Android app, it might say something a little different. For example, it refers to, instead of library, as you see on the iPhone, it refers to gallery. But the options are still the same. For this example, I'm going to say take photo, and it automatically brings up my camera. So now all I have to do is aim it at the receipt, take the picture, choose use photo, and now my receipt is attached to the actual expense as well. And also, just a note, you can see the attach receipt button now changes to attached receipt. If you ever want to go back and view a certain receipt for certain transactions, you can just tap on that button, and the picture comes right up. Now all I have to do is save. And now, as you can see, business gifts is now included in my expenses category. Now, just to explain, we get the question a lot of why do we have to answer all those questions. I'm going to open up the business form here again so you can see this. We ask the category, we ask what the reason is, we ask where. All of these questions are actually required by the IRS whenever you file a deduction. So answering these questions thoroughly audit-proofs all your deductions. Now let's move on and talk a little about the banking feature. Going back to the home page, you can see the banking tab again down at the bottom of the app. You can only add banks on your online account, but you can easily view and classify your transactions from your app. Now, to classify, all you have to do is tap on a certain banking transaction, and it comes up again with that same exact form that you saw before with entering your expense. The category in this case is already filled out, but if you needed to, you can go and change it to whatever you needed to. The what shows the information from your banking transaction. Where you go ahead and fill this in. Let's say this is dues and subscriptions. Let's just say, for example's sake, this is my Taxbot membership fee. So I would put Taxbot on there. The business, again, you can choose. If you select here, you can see all your different businesses and choose which one you need. And if I need it, I can attach a receipt to it, just as you'd fill it out just the same as you did before. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this one right now. Now, as you scroll through your banking transactions, you might notice that some of them are negative numbers, while yet some of them are positive numbers. Recently, with our new online upgrade, we have added income tracking along with expense tracking. So now, on the app, you will see all your banking expenses as negative numbers, and any income are positive numbers. Future updates to our app will also align it just exactly how the website is. You'll have an income section as well as an expense section. Now, as you can see, seeing all this information makes everything kind of confusing. So you can filter out the information that you don't want to see. Up in the right-hand corner, you'll see the word filter. Again, it might differ a little bit with Android phones, but the idea is still the same. Just tap on the word filter, and you'll see all your different banking institutions. In this case, I just have the two, AutoPays and the Blue Card from American Express. If I want to show all of them, I can just tap on all, and it will automatically show the transactions from everything. Or if I want to, I can just select one of them. In this case, we'll say Blue from American Express. And I will only see the banking, the expense transactions and any income transactions from that account. So again, with banking, you can only actually add banking institutions on the website. But any changes, anything that you do on this app will also upload and reflect online as well. Now, there's many different things that you can do with a program under settings. On the home page, you'll see in the upper right hand corner the settings gear. Just tap on that and this automatically takes you into all the settings options. I'm just going to start at the very top and just kind of move down to explain what each of these options are. And once again, I'll say it may appear a little bit different on the Android app, but everything still is the same. Whether you knew it or not, Taxbot has been designed to work with both United States and Canadian tax law. So at the very top here, the first area is to be able to change the units. In this case right now, I have it all adjusted to United States. But if needed, I can tap on here, change it to kilometers, and also to the Canadian dollar, whichever one you need. And that is how Taxbot will reflect all your information. Now, for testing, you can see I have a lot of different odometers entered here. But at the beginning of every year, the IRS does require that you enter your beginning odometer miles. You don't have to do it again at any other time for the year. You don't have to enter an ending, but they do want to know your beginning odometer miles. And this is the area that you would change it to. All you have to do is just tap on yearly odometer, and then you would enter the odometer reading for whatever vehicle you already have entered, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now moving down the screen, we come to businesses and vehicles, and this is where you can enter in multiple businesses. Now, say for example, my wife and I are using the app. Uh, a lot of times we have married couples out there that one may be a real estate agent and the other will have their own business. What you can do is tap on businesses, and you can see that there's already a few examples entered in here. But tapping on the plus sign in the right hand corner, you can enter in a new business. We'll just put in test here. Tap on OK. And now you can see my new business right down on the bottom. And whatever business has the blue check mark next to it, I believe Android has a slightly different marking, but whatever business has the marking next to it is your defaulted business. So when you bring up an expense to enter an expense, that is the business that it's automatically going to default to. You can always change it within that expense form, but that is what it always defaults to. So I always recommend whatever business you use the most is the one you want as default. But you can see how nice and easy that is. And so now if you have multiple users using the app, or if you have more than one business yourself, you can make sure that everything is organized under the appropriate business. So let's go back to settings. And vehicles, it's just really the same. You can have multiple vehicles on here. Again, I have many different testing ones. You just tap on the plus sign, put in the name of a new vehicle, and it'll appear right here. And just like before, you can choose whatever one you use the most to be your default. I wish I had the Porsche. Now, just to clarify and show how things work, in this case, let's choose the Toyota as my default vehicle. Let's say it's now the beginning of the year and I'm entering in my, my beginning odometer. When you tap on Add Yearly Odometer, and you can put in whatever the miles might be, it automatically saves it to whatever is your defaulted vehicle. So let's see. Here we go right here. Here's the one for 2015 I just added, and you saw earlier that I marked the Toyota as my default. So when adding a yearly odometer, you'll want to make sure to have the appropriate vehicle defaulted to enter in the miles. Now finally, logging out. As you can see, this is entitled Log Out and Clear Data. I've had many calls of people getting a little worried about that, thinking that if you log out of the app, everything you've ever entered in is going to be gone. The wonderful thing about Taxbot is everything is saved on our cloud. That means whatever you enter here is going to be saved online. So whenever you log out, if something isn't backed up online, you may lose that. I just want to let you know that. But in general, if you just tap on log out, you're not going to lose any of your information. So in this case, I'm going to log out. And it asks you, are you sure you want to log out? Your data will be available online, just like I said. You click on yes, and that logs you right out. Many times we'll get calls from customers who are having different issues with the app, whether it's not tracking or their information doesn't seem to be saving. And most of the time we just ask them, when was the last time you logged out of the app? I recommend logging out probably about once a month. When you do this, it helps keep the app up to date. It helps make sure that everything's working properly and everything is getting backed up online just fine. If you have any questions or need any technical help, please give us a call at 855-482-9268 or contact us by email at support@taxbot.com or by chat on taxbot.com. Whatever is the easiest for you. We are always here to help you. Thank you for your time and happy deducting.